Hello, everyone. How you doing? This is really interesting. What I want to talk to you about here for a while, and it's interesting. We're going to talk about COVID-19 deaths, and the CDC tells us how many deaths there are. Well, guess what? Now they're taking thousands of deaths off of the count. They're taking a lot of deaths off of the count, and even pediatric deaths. They're changing the number of people who have died from COVID 19. Well, why are they doing this? What's going on? How many are we talking about? I'm going to break it all down for you. So stay with me. Go ahead and follow me on YouTube. Click right down there. Or if you're watching on Rumble, you could be watching there as well. Go ahead and subscribe to either YouTube or on Rumble. I'm on both platforms. So go ahead and subscribe, and that way you'll get updates when I go live or when I post any videos. So let's take a look at this article from Reuters, and they are talking about an interesting story that you may not see everywhere, but I read everything, and I just stumbled upon this. The CDC, according to Reuters, is reporting fewer COVID 19 pediatric deaths than originally reported. Now, this talks about a lot more than just pediatric deaths. We're talking about overall deaths here with COVID. And scrolling down, the health agency said it made its adjustment to its COVID data tracker because its algorithm was accidentally counting deaths that were not COVID related. Right there. That's what it says. According to Reuters, the CDC, in a statement to Reuters, said it made adjustments to its COVID data tracker's mortality data on March 14th because its algorithm was accidentally counting deaths that were not COVID related. Okay, well, what are the real numbers then? What are we talking about? Let me go ahead and take a look at what we are talking about. According to Reuters, take a look at your screen right here. There are now 72,277 deaths that were not related to COVID whatsoever. So 72,277 less people died of COVID, according to Reuters. Now, these individuals died or may have died, but not at all from COVID. That's according to the CDC, sourced from Reuters. 416 pediatric deaths were removed from the official numbers. So that's just coming out just now. And that's according to Reuters. And I want to go ahead and go back to the article and show you here. Oh, hold on. Don't you hate it when you always click on an ad? It always happens. Um, okay, the adjustment resulted in the removal of 72,000 deaths. Now get this right here. The reduction cut the CDC estimate of deaths in children by 24% to 1,341, which is obviously horrible. Every death is horrible. But to put it into depth and perspective, this is getting you a better look at what's going on. Okay, this next line right here shows you children accounted for 19% of all COVID 19 cases, but less than 0.26% of cases resulted in death. That is according to the American Academy of Pediatrics. And Americans have been polarized over the mitigation measures by the CDC. And this is it's very interesting to know these numbers because during the beginning of the pandemic, and even up until just recently, you kept seeing the numbers on your screen. You know, certain television networks like CNN, they would put a running count of the death count on there. Well, now there is a difference. According to Reuters, according to the CDC, there is less death reported than there originally was. And bringing this up on your screen right here once again, taking a look right here, COVID 19 deaths have been reduced. 72,277 deaths have been removed from the total count of deaths, according to the CDC and Reuters. 416 children did not die from COVID. They may have died from other issues, but they did not die from COVID. The CDC telling Reuters that they admit that this was a mistake that their algorithm made. Now, it's really interesting when it comes to algorithms. I'm here in the state of Michigan, and I've been dealing with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services a lot. And they told me that they track, for example, they track breakthrough cases of COVID. And these are cases where people who are fully vaccinated go ahead and get COVID. Well, I always thought that the state was counting individual cases, like individual people. But it turns out one of their spokesperson, Bob Wheaton, a spokesperson for the state, he tells me that it's like an algorithm. It's a computer estimating how many breakthrough cases there are. They are not actually going through all of the certificates and all of the information because he said honestly it would be difficult to determine exactly how many breakthrough cases there are. So the CDC saying that their algorithm, their computer was wrong. And that resulted in 72,277 deaths removed from COVID 19, the official count. And obviously, COVID 19 is very, very serious, especially for the immunocompromised and for the elderly. But I wanted to make this video because I think everyone needs to know the information. Everyone needs to know exactly what the real numbers are. And the CDC saying there was no ill intention behind this. It was just that the numbers that their algorithm, that their computer came up with, turned out to be different. So that's what you're looking at right there. And you have not seen this in a lot of places. And that's why I figured I would go ahead and give you this. I'm gonna go on right now and take a look. Sorry, real quick, just bringing up something on the COVID-19 map that is from Johns Hopkins University, and they have a breakdown of all the cases globally and in the U.S. and so forth. And it seems like I know a lot of you are saying you're thinking that hey, COVID has disappeared. It's not the case. It's just not being talked about um, by by a lot of people. And let me see if we get a nationwide data here. Hold on, everyone. Let me bring this up for you. Bring up our website that we got. And this is a look at it right here. This is the national map. I'm trying to get you the number that we have worldwide or in the United States. It's not loading right now, so I apologize for that. Yeah, it's not loading. It is giving me individual cities, individual areas like Los Angeles. It's breaking down top 25 cases, top 25 confirmed cases by county. Los Angeles, the biggest cases, and then it can break it down even further for you right here. So that is Johns Hopkins. If any of you would like to look at that further, but once again, the interesting information: the CDC adjusting how many people died from COVID. It's not my job to tell you what to think. It's not my job to give an opinion. It's just my job to let you know that this happened. And I thought that it's very important to do so. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Go ahead, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or on Rumble, and go ahead and share this out with all your friends on social media. Have a good day.